latest figures suggest more than half of migrants who claim to be victims of modern slavery after crossing the Channel in the first half of the year were Albanian. Home Office data shows 1,156 people were recorded as making such a claim. Between January and June 2022, 591 were Albanian. Joining me now for more on that, Jeremy Hutton from Migration Watch, who wrote the report. Jeremy, good morning.
Good morning.
Just for the benefit, especially of our listeners, just tell us a little more, if you would, first up, about the modern slavery claims and aspect to this. I mean, what sorts of cases and stories have emerged over that?
So the problem with people claiming modern slavery is that it's putting huge pressure on the asylum system, and traditionally this would involve maybe people being smuggled into the UK, illegally trafficked from countries like Vietnam or Sudan or Eritrea, and Iran is also a big one. But what this seems to indicate is that Albania, which is a relatively safe country, people from there are exploiting the UK's reasonably generous system to gain asylum here.
So if they've been found then to have exploited that term, what's happened to them?
Well, in theory, they should be being deported. So yesterday, the government, I believe, deported maybe around a dozen Albanians, and the amount of people they're deporting does seem to be increasing thanks to deals made with the Albanian government, who seem to be quite open to this, and also acknowledge the problem that people from their country are exploiting the system in this way.
And we know, don't we, that last month the Prime Minister vowed to deport thousands of Albanians under plans to tighten up modern slavery rules. I mean, presumably that's something you would welcome.
Yes, we welcomed Rishi Sunak's speech and his announcements regarding the asylum system quite warmly, but of course we're very cautious as to what the final result of that will be like, because these laws are very tricky, and there is a fine balance to be taken in terms of making sure people can't exploit these laws, but also that genuine victims receive the help that they need.
Any worries over any other people from other nations perhaps falsifying or exploiting the same term?
There aren't any other instances within the data that are quite as clear and blatant as Albanians. So mainly it's people from East Africa or the Middle East, Vietnam, as I previously mentioned as well. So I'd say these countries where there's a reasonably decent likelihood that they are valid claims, unlike Albanians, where even if they are valid claims, the Albanian authorities believe they are capable of providing protection within their own country.
The Refugee Council is warning, though, that it's dangerous to assume, that all Albanians are falsifying such modern slavery claims, and that trafficking and exploitation in that country is a problem. The upshot should be, surely, that every case should be given a really fair assessment.
Well, indeed, every case is given a fair assessment, but if you look at like countries such as, Germany, Sweden, France, they accept very few asylum claims from Albania, and as the Albanian ambassador himself has said, this is a problem that they themselves feel they can provide protection for their people for, rather than those people needing to come all the way to Calais and then take this extremely dangerous crossing where, of course, people do unfortunately occasionally die.
If not enough is done to send the fraudulent asylum seekers back, say, to Albania, what are your fears over just how high these numbers could go? Well, indeed, the pull factor is massive, and I think this first half of 22 data that we've released, thanks to Freedom of Information requests, is actually going to be dwarfed when the final full-year figures emerge, because the bulk of crossings came in the second half of the year. So the pull factor is massive, and even though the government is increasing deportations and returns, it's a small drop in the ocean of the total, and the backlog is making things take far too long. Why is the UK so attractive to these people? Well, there seems to be a large black economy which Albanian immigrants are able to take part in, and thanks to the small size of Europe, smugglers using TikTok can effectively organise travel at very short notice, and it's very easy for them to get in. And once they get onto a small boat, because the Border Force and the Royal Navy become so effective intercepting them, it means they're pretty much streamlined straight into the asylum system rather than risking a particularly dangerous crossing where they are more likely to die. Thankfully, very few do die in that way, so it's not
as dangerous as it used to be.
Jeremy Hutton, good to speak with you this morning, go through the issues. Thank you, Jeremy Hutton there from Migration Watch.